What's up, everybody on YouTube and Facebook? Good to see you guys. Awesome. Welcome to day one of the Think Wealthy Challenge. We're going to get started in just a second. I'm really excited for you guys to be here. I'm Amanda Bagels. Let us know in the chat box where you're from, any micro win that you guys might have. A micro win, like we like to think, is just that small, that micro win, the micro like aha moment. Micro thing that just is like, this is much bigger than sometimes we get credit for. So share those there in the chat box for us. Jackie's got one, head to Nebraska afterwards to meet up with a new team we are building out there. Congratulations, Jackie. Great job. We got Canada in the house. Awesome, Shar. She's so excited for this week. She got her LLC paperwork completed and ready to go. I like that with her. She's like dancing with us. I love it. Good job. You guys are doing awesome. Well, welcome everybody in the VIP lounge. Everybody at YouTube and Facebook at home as well. If you guys want to upgrade to VIP, our team will post the link there for you guys. But let me just see who else we got. I see Marion made it back. What's up, Marion? See Daniela, Ashi, what's up? Good to have you guys on here. I see Emily, Miss Linda. Great, guys. Well, welcome to day one, the official day one of the Think Wealthy Challenge with Dr. Alok Trivedi. I'm Amanda Pagels. I'm in the business development here for Dr. T, and I am so excited. I know a lot of you guys were able to join us last night during the little bonus session that Dr. T threw in yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to be on there, don't worry. Head to the Facebook group and watch the replay. It's awesome. He's going through on that, like the 3 phases of business and the one thing to make the entrepreneur successful. I'm not going to share what that one thing is because you got to watch it to know it, and it won't be what you think. Don't worry. So definitely check the replay on that. But I'm so excited for you guys to be here for this Think Wealthy Challenge because as entrepreneurs, you guys know it's all about growing yourselves to be able to grow your business. And it's okay because sometimes we might feel stuck or frustrated, and that's cool too, because that's part of the game, right? Those challenges that come our way, but to be able to break through that next level. And a lot of you guys were sharing last night feeling in that same space where whether you're just starting out in business or you're ready to go to the next level, but you're just feeling like you just need that little oomph, right? Who's with me on that one? Show of hands or put some yeses in the chat box. Yeah, okay. Everyone's like smirking with it. They're like, yes. Thank you guys for being open and honest with this. Now, during this Think Wealthy Challenge, what I'm really excited for you guys is we have worksheets and assignments for you guys throughout the week, and we'll send those each day. So I'm just going to go through a little bit of logistics with you so you know what to expect. Cool? Because I know a lot of you, this might be your first challenge or your first challenge with Dr. Trivedi, even if you've done them before. So what's really nice is we're going to send you guys the worksheets and assignments in your email so you guys can print those or download them because you can use them like your iPad, whatever is easier. And if you guys are watching on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you guys go check your email for those because you'll have it there. VIPs will post it right here in the chat box for you. Now, as VIP, as you guys know, what's cool is you guys get to be here on Zoom with Dr. T. So you guys get to be on here, him see you, you see him, which makes it really fun and interactive. And then at the end of each day, we're going to have a VIP only Q&A session. And during that, VIPs are going to be able to raise your hand, ask questions, just like we did last night, and be able to get those aha moments, those T-by-4s, those breakthroughs that you guys are looking for, and that clarity maybe around the content and training that Dr. T goes through that day. So those are going to be really valuable. And like I say, as you're learning throughout the day with Dr. T, write those questions down because it's easy to draw that blank at the end of it, right? Like, I know that's how I was talking about that last night. I get like that. So I am a writer downer. I'm a note taker. I'm even taking notes throughout this too, just like you guys. So I'm really excited for you guys to be a part of that. Also, as VIP, you guys will get copies of the recording after the challenge is over, so you can always go back and be a part of that and rewatch and relearn. So if you're not a VIP and you want to be, our team will definitely post the link for you guys. And then, oh, I do want to say this with the Q&A. Just as you guys are formulating your questions, right? We want to make sure that we're keeping it based like on the content, right? Like nothing overly personal or too specific to like our businesses or like personal professional life with it, because in this time frame, Dr. T's just not going to have the time to be able to really go into it and get the most context to be able to help you with that. Does that make sense? Like keep it more general and focused so you can get the best results. And even as a VIP, if you guys, like, I don't know if I have any, stick around for the Q&A because people, I guarantee you, will ask those questions that you've been thinking in your brain or that you didn't realize you should be asking. So I don't know if you guys felt that last night, like somebody asked a question, you're like, ooh, that's a good one, right? I see some nods on that. Absolutely. I think that's really, really important. It's such an interesting way that we all learn and grow from that. So make sure you guys stay all the way through to the end. Now, I want to see in the chat box right now how excited you guys are for the Think Wealthy Challenge. Like, I want to see some like T's in the chat box if you guys excited. And I'm saying T's for Dr. T, but also for thinking, right? I want to see those T's. Oh, Reed's going nuts, almost going nuts. I want to see that on Facebook and everything too. You guys are doing amazing with this. Now, today I have a really cool thing to be able to actually bring up and share with you guys and introduce Dr. T today. So I'm really excited about it. So to introduce Dr. T today and to get started on day one of the Think Wealthy Challenge, I'm going to play this quick video for you guys.
This is a live look in San Francisco. Well, coming up. Joining me now from Chicago, Dr. Alok Trivedi, a national stress reduction expert.
Right now, who's an expert on this sort of thing?
Dr. Alok Trivedi is an authority on the subject.
With important advice.
Joining us now is Dr. Alok Trivedi. Doctor, we're so happy to have you with us today.
Dr. Trivedi, the author of this book, Chasing Success. Dr. Alok Trivedi, good morning to you. Doctor, good morning to you.
Dr. Alok Trivedi, he's the founder of Aligned Performance Institute. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Dr. Alok Trivedi is a media personality and author of Chasing Success, Lessons in Aligned Performance. He's been in front of over 100 million people worldwide while featured on CBS, NBC, Fox News, Shape Magazine, Global News, Entrepreneur, and many more. Dr. Trivedi is an expert in human performance and high-performance thinking. For over 25 years, he studied the brain to develop the scientific processes to rewire people's problems for permanent, lasting change. He's sought out by WNBA stars, professional golfers, Olympic tennis players, corporate executives, and elite entrepreneurs to rewire their thinking to transform their money, business, and life. Dr. Trivedi's clients win gold medals, have record-breaking income growth, and create global impact by using his high-performance thinking strategies. Are you ready to be a high-performance thinker and take charge of your life? It's time to get real.
Awesome, guys. Give it up right now. Give it up, everybody, for Dr. Alok Trivedi. Get those hands in the air. What's up? Give it up for Dr. T, everybody.
There we go. All right. Well, welcome to the Think Wealthy Challenge. So excited to have you guys here. So excited to have you guys here. Again, I'm Dr. Alok Trivedi. Thank you guys for being here and being a part of this community. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here for the Think Wealthy Challenge. And I want to just take a second and appreciate Amanda. Thank you for that warm introduction. And having everyone being here is such a huge thing. Now, I've got a lot to cover. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but I want to cover just want to start today by just saying, hey, look, this week is going to be a whole new experience for so many of you. And I see so many of you and I watch you and I'm looking at you guys and it's great. I'm seeing all of you here and I see like Rocky and I see Marion and I see Rebecca and I see Karen. And all of you guys, and Shar and Monique, and all you guys here, it's cool to watch you guys here because you guys can't see this, I know, but you guys see this page and that here. You guys see what this looks like, and it's great. Inside this, hang on one second. And this whole setup is great, but I get to see all of you here. So all of you in the VIP room, I can see all of you here. But those of you on Facebook and YouTube, thank you guys for joining us as well. And wherever you are, I just want you to know that this week is about you. This week is about committing to your growth, your journey, what you've got going on, and making you grow your life to the next level. Right? That's what it's about. And I love to say this. I start this intentionally in this fashion because you're all here for one reason. You're here to grow. To be a business owner that grows your life and grows your thinking, to grow your wealth, grow your income. Let's be honest, for one reason, right? It's going to sound a little obsolete and maybe even a little bit scary, but it's to be able to live your life on your terms, isn't it? Like Rebecca, if I said that to you, isn't that why you're here? You want to learn how to live life on your terms, maybe more than what you are today, right? Maybe you're doing it now, but maybe you want to go to the next level in what it is. But whatever it is, we're all here because we're trying to get ourselves to the next level. And that's why I love talking to entrepreneurs like you, because you want to take your life to the next place. It's hard working with people who don't want to grow. It's hard working with people who don't want to see the next light. And you guys are already different in that category. So I congratulate you, first of all, for doing that right off the top. And number two, I want to welcome you to this idea of thinking wealthy. Because thinking wealthy is not just an arbitrary thing. It's an actual process that I'm going to take you through this week. And yesterday, I couldn't help myself. I ended up doing a bonus training. And I know some of you were on here last night with me, and it feels like it was just a few hours ago. It was. It was late last night. We were here till about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I was thinking about it yesterday, and I have so much to cover with you guys, to share with you guys. And I wanted to cover what it's going to take and kind of put this piece together. So if you were there, fantastic, welcome back. If you weren't, no sweat. Let me give you a short recap. It'll take you 60 seconds to kind of go through it. But then I want to make sure you go back and you watch the recording on it, because it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube. The recordings are out there. Make sure you do it, because we talked about really what it's going to take, for you to be successful in this challenge this week. Right? You're going to have to dive in. You're going to have to dive into the process. You're going to have to dive into what it's going to take. We're going to have to dive into what this world is going to look like. You're going to have to step into it. It's not going to be a passive process. You're going to have to dive into it to make sure you take charge of what you're looking to do with your life and your thinking. Second thing I wanted to do is make sure that you overcome the I know disease. Right? The I know disease is simple. It's the not that I know this content. It's the I know my problem, and I'm going to hold on to that problem. And I'm going to hold on to what that problem is. And I gave solutions to that as well. And the third thing, and I want to talk to you more about today, is the entire world of business looks at life like an opportunity, just like you do all in yourself. You look at life through an opportunity. And I want you to just take a second and follow what that means, right? What does it mean this week to have the opportunity to play your life at a new level? What's the opportunity that lives to a whole nother platform and a whole nother stage? What's it mean for you to be able to live your life and the opportunity to live your existence from a platform of growth and success? That's what we're talking about this week. We're talking about that type of success in your life. We're talking about that type of improvement from where you are. Because I just want to take a second and ask you this. What would it be like if you could actually grow your world to live the life that you want? It can sound like a scary idea, right? If you're an entrepreneur or even a propreneur, or an ideapreneur, right? We talked about that last night, but I'll give you guys a definition of it. The way I look at it, right, is that if you're an entrepreneur, you may be in business already, right? You may have a business making $40, $50, $60, $70,000 a year, $100,000, $200, maybe $1 million a year. It makes no difference. You could already be in that stage. Or maybe you have a multi-million-dollar business as an entrepreneur. Perfect, great. You could be in the propreneur phase, right? And the propreneur phase is when you're kind of in that 0 to 50 range, I like to call it, where you're trying to figure it out. You're in the process of becoming an entrepreneur, right? Because sometimes people say they're entrepreneurs, and I'm going to cut right to the chase here. They're really not in the game of entrepreneurship yet. They're in the process of figuring out what it's going to take for that to happen, right? And if that makes sense to you, put your hands up and let me know if that makes sense. Exactly. And if you look at that, you say, okay, maybe you're in the propreneur phase or you're in the ideapreneur phase, right? And the ideapreneur phase is the phase of your life and the phase of your business where maybe, hey, look, maybe you don't have an actual business yet, but you have an idea. You're in the inception phase of an idea that could go and grow and scale to enormous ideas. But that process is in the idea phase. Whatever phase it is perfectly where it's supposed to be. But the only challenge is you've been stuck going from there to the next stage, right? And I like to sit and say that I like to define it by the dollars and cents, so to speak. So if you're looking at it from dollars and cents, then you look at it and say, you know what? If I'm between the 0 to 50 range, maybe I'm in the propreneur phase where I'm trying to figure it out. It's not fully a business yet. You know what? The government says I'm a business owner, or my MLM says I'm a business owner, but the truth is I'm really not in the process of making this a full career just yet. Maybe you're not there, right? And that's perfectly okay. But what we're talking about here today in this week is to take your life from a state of thinking from where you're at to where you're going to grow. Right? If you're in the idea phase right now and you're in the ideapreneur phase, I want you to think, how do you go from the ideapreneur phase to the propreneur phase? That's it. That's all you have to do. And if you're in the propreneur phase, how do you go from the propreneur phase to the entrepreneur phase? That's all I want you to think about and consider. How do you go from step to grow that? That's the name of the game. That's what we're going to have to play this week. That's what we're going to have to take our journey through it. Here's the thing is that you can have lots of strategy around this, right? All of us have done strategy. We've tried advertising, marketing, and selling, and we look at it, and then what we do is we work so hard. And I did this too, man. I'm not going to lie. I did this for so many years, is that you continue to work at the strategies. And you talk about how you're going to do your consults and your exams and your processes and procedures. And then you say, you know what? You got to have the proper copy, and how this is how you're going to write copy, and that's going to convert it. But you know, and I know people that have done the exact same things that you're in, and it gets you no result. And you're doing the same thing everyone else is doing. You're doing the same thing everyone else is doing, but you're not getting the result. Now, the problem is this, is what is that? It's the simple X factor that every consultant wants to talk about, but barely can specialize in. And that's why we're here this week. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, and if that came off that way, that wasn't my intention, right? There's some great mentors in strategy. And there's some great mentors when it comes to building marketing and sales and your business strategy, because all of you are in different business strategies. But when it comes to thinking, going from a low performance thinking level to a high performance thinking level, that's what I do. That's what I do, because we're going to use science this week to rewire your thinking so that you can grow your business and grow your life to be able to transform all of it. Right? And I want to take a second, and I'm going to ask you a question. Right? Just in the chat box here, I want you to put down, what is it you're hoping to gain this week in this challenge? Just put it in the chat box here so I can see it with you. And those of you on Facebook and YouTube, put it in there as well. So and my teams are monitoring that, and I'm going to get all that information as well, so I can make sure I customize it all for you. So let's see what happens here, right? Okay, great. Cut your BS. To get out of the low self-esteem and throw it out. I love that, right? Humility, fantastic. High performance thinking. To get unstuck. To get ideas, fantastic, right? Great ideas. To see your blind spots. Get to another level, as Jackie says. Launch a new reality. I love that. That's such a great term. Step up to the plate. Inside of it. There you go. Thinking, different thinking and moving forward. I love that. Clarity on money and moving. Amanda says, Trivedi always surprises me. That's probably true. That's probably true. Well, cool. Well, look, we've got a lot to cover. We've got a lot to cover. So I'm going to dive right into it today and see kind of where you guys are at and where we're going to go. Okay? There we go. I think we've got it now. I think my team at my tech team, I'm just telling you all right now, we've got the gallery now. I can see everybody clearly now. So great job. Let's give the tech team a whole round of applause, because you guys didn't know I couldn't see any of you that whole time. Now I can see you, right? Fantastic. I'll tell you, with this technology stuff, we love it and hate it. It's a love-hate relationship. I can see Rebecca now. I can see Emily. There we go. Darlene, it's good to see you. Hey, there you are. Pankaj, I see you as well. Naomi, good to see you again, all the way from ATL. Carrie, there we are. Paul, Catherine, awesome. Okay, cool. Excellent. So now that I got you dialed in with me here, we can start having some fun. So here's the entrepreneurial paradox that we're all in. And it's a paradox of thinking. Because we enter the world of entrepreneurship because we look to become, well, free in our life. We look to be able to do what we want, when we want, how we want to do it. And we build it, we want to scale it, and then we want to sell it at some level. And I'm going to talk about a different sort of business, right? Because you've heard that. You know, there's types of training, different types of trainings out there, and you've all been parts of it, and I have too, right? Where you build it, you scale it, and then you sell it, and you get rid of it. And you exit out, you sell it to another company, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's a problem in that type of business. There's a problem in building a life that's only about selling. If that's what you do perpetually, I have a very good friend of mine, that's what he does. He perpetually builds, sells, and scales and sells businesses. That's what he does, and that's amazing that if you could do that. But I'm going to bet most of you on this call, and just put your hands up if this is true, want to build a business where you can get up in the morning and do what it is you love to do all the time. If that's true, please put up your hand so I can see that, right? Yeah, you want to build a business to do what it is you want to do. Rebecca, I need that hand up. You can't just nod with me. I'm going to call you out. There you go. Hand is up. Fantastic. I see Kayla's hand up, right? Because that's the name of the game. Internally, what we're looking for is business of inspiration. And all of us, and we're going to cover this on day 4 when we go through this, building a life of inspiration takes strategy, right? People say, well, why would you go do the Think Wealthy Challenge? What is Dr. Trivedi going to do? Well, Dr. Trivedi works with entrepreneurs to help them rewire their wealth, their health, and their relationships so that they can live a life fulfilled. Because the entrepreneurial paradox is not simple. It's not simple. It's easy, but it's not simple. Everyone says you open a business, you file the paperwork with the government, you're a small business, and you're good to go. And some of you start making money, and then you're like, good to go. But it's not simple. Starts in here. Simplicity starts in here, but we get into the entrepreneurial paradox, and then all of a sudden, this thing starts taking a life of its own and starts moving towards a direction that you're looking for. And the problem becomes now that holds you trapped. Here's the other side of that. If you're a mother or a father or have relationships outside, they start wearing on those relationships, don't they? They start tugging on them, where you're looking at the relationships and saying, you know what? I don't get to spend enough time with them. And then they start complaining, and your kids start saying, Mommy, Daddy, when are you going to spend time with me? You missed my last 14 games. And then you start holding on to this guilt and this emotion. It's like, shit, on one hand, I'm trying to build a business for the family. And tell me if this is true, if this rings true to you in any capacity. You're trying to build a business to give the family freedom. But at the same time, on the other side is the family that's tugging on you, that's saying, you know what? I can't really grow because they hold you back. They hold you back from emotion, not because they don't love you, but because they want to spend time with you. And you sit in the middle of this. And Tara says it's left her frozen. Completely get it, Tara, right? And it keeps you in this state of stuck, frozen. And it's like you're in this box and you don't know where to go. It's like, oh, I got to go build my business, but I can only do that 9 to 5. And then you listen to entrepreneurs out there, and the advice that's given to you is that you've got to grind it out. You've got to work till 2 in the morning. And if you're trying to do a 9 to 5 in a business, it's never going to work. And look, the reality is this, is that I've never seen a business that grows just 9 to 5 that's making in the entrepreneur phase. I'll be very real with you, right? I've never seen it happen. I have a friend of mine, a very good friend of my old college roommate. He'll sit and tell me he's got a business, he's got an app. And he goes, I only work on my business from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And that's it. That's all I do, 9 a.m., 5 p.m. And I don't work on weekends. I said, how's your business doing? He goes, well, we haven't made a sale yet, but that's kind of, but I got a business. I said, dude, you're not in business. You realize this. You're not in business if you haven't made a sale. Please write that down. If you've never made a sale, you're not in business. Because a lot of people want to call themselves business owners, and I say this with love and respect, no hostility, that want to be business owners, but you haven't made a sale. And if you have never made a sale, you can't really say you're in business because there's no taxable income. Just that simple. It's a hobby. This week, we got to delineate between a hobby and a business. We got to delineate from moving from a 9 to 5 position to a world where you can actually be an entrepreneur. But before you get the freedom of entrepreneurship, you're going to have to go through the rigorousness of being trapped. And what the emotional chaos that's going to bring between your family life and your personal life. And what it's going to do to you emotionally, physically, psychologically, and then to every part around you. And then how do you manage money around that? Because look, this is think wealthy. This is not think rich. Because wealth encompasses the entire well-being of an entrepreneur. Think rich is just about money. We're going to talk a lot about money this week, but the reality is that money is simply the symptom of who you are on the inside. Money is just a symptom of who you are on the inside. And the paradox that we live in keeps us stuck there. It keeps us stuck in that space. And it doesn't allow us to grow. So I want to take a second. I just kind of went through a lot of content really fast. Would you guys, I kind of dropped a lot of stuff really quickly here. So do me a favor, in the chat box here, now that I've got everything pulled up here, tell me just one thing that you got there. Just write it down so I can chime back and read it back to everyone. So everyone kind of works collectively here. This is why I love Trivedi Land. I love Trivedi Land too. It's the world that was created with my name that I didn't even know that I created. It's kind of a beautiful thing. Money is a symptom of who you are. Yeah. Money is who you are in life by design, Darlene's saying. Fantastic. Money is the symptom of who you are. The realization of family pull is common. It's so common. Wealth is holistic. That's exactly right. Being wealthy is not just rich. Paradox is live in thinking. No sales, no business. There it is. You're not in business if you haven't made a sale. That's exactly right. Because there's no taxable income. You go to the accountant, I'm in business. He's going to say there's nothing to file taxes on. You're going to file a personal tax return, zero in your business return. Therefore, there's nothing to put forward. So I say that to you all today. So I say that because I want you to grasp this concept today. I talked about it last night, but every day is about one thing. Every day is about one thing. Today is about your blind spots. I want you to get one thing today, and I want you to get one thing tomorrow, and one thing the day after. And every day, just take one thing and build upon it, because there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of information that starts coming at you pretty quickly right now. I've kind of been introducing it, welcoming you in, but we're about to warm up, and speed's about to pick up. But I don't want you to get overwhelmed. I don't want you to get overwhelmed in any capacity. We're here together for the next 5 days. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Could be longer. Just could be. Throwing it out there if you're so inclined. But I say that because I want you guys to dive inside this. Now, I said this yesterday as well, that I want to make sure that you actually take the time out and commit to this. In the evenings, you're going to want to re-listen to this. You're going to want to re-listen to this content and make sure that you get all of it. Because as I show you the breakthrough formula here in about 10 minutes, you're going to say, shit, what was that? Because I didn't get that. How do we do that? How does that make sense? Because that breakthrough formula is going to be the secret that takes you from the propreneur to the entrepreneur. And maybe to the 100,000 entrepreneur to the 200,000 entrepreneur. Or maybe the ideapreneur to the propreneur. And I want you to get that, because the reality is this, is that if you're in business today, in any capacity, any of these three phases we're talking about, you're going to move from a state of struggle to success, back to struggle, and then you're going to get stuck there. I know this is not motivating. He's like, what the hell? This is not motivate. I'm not here to motivate you. I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to tell you the truth. Right? I'm not here just to motivate you. I'm here to tell you the truth. And I hope this week that you get a lot of that. I hope this week that you get the truth inside this, because I'm not interested in just coming out here and telling you a bunch of things that's going to make you feel good. That's not who I am. Right? I've been known to cut people's bullshit. And if it's okay this week, I'm going to make sure that I cut your bullshit. It doesn't matter if you like me or hate me. What you'll say is thank you. And that's what I care about. I care about the thank you. I read a comment in one of my Aligned Masters that someone said this, and my team doesn't even know this. This is true. True statement, 100%. I got it on my phone. I took a picture of it. That one of my clients says getting in front of her scares her so much because he's going to call her bullshit that it makes her sick. True statement. It makes her sick because I'm going to cut the bullshit. I'm going to get you truthful to who you are. I want you to know all progress starts by telling the truth. You can't lie to yourself and be okay with it. You can't lie to yourself and want to grow. Like, that's just a delusion. And you can't lie to yourself and say, it's okay. I said that if you're going to build your life, the psychology of the leader of your company is going to determine the level that the company's at. If your psychology is a $200,000 level, then that's what the income is going to show up, because money is the symptom, not the cause. The cause is the consciousness that nobody wants to be able to clarify. They're afraid of it. They run from it. They talk about mindset. We talk about mindset, and we say, you got to be positive in your thinking. You got to take every obstacle and feel good about it. And you've heard this before, Courtney. But the problem is that there's no science behind it. Does this make sense? There's not a science behind how do we do this, because you all know this and I know this too. And I was in the same shoes where you're watching people do the exact same thing that you're looking at. And you're saying, I'm looking at that person. We do the same program, the same scripts, the same marketing. And we talk to the same people. But their life is completely different than my life. Anyone ever feel that before? Yeah, put up your hands, right? That's right, Sydney. Put up your hands if you've ever felt that way. PJ, I know in your world that happens all the time, right? It's exactly right. You look at it and say, "Hey, look, I'm doing the same things. Why is it not changing?" Because their consciousness is different. Now, consciousness is not just thinking. Consciousness is not just thinking. It's the evolution of the emotions that you have and transcending those emotions. I'll say it again. It's the consciousness is not just thinking. It's the evolution of the emotions and transcending the emotions. Now that's big and long. It's like, what the hell did he just say? I get it. Let me simplify it for you, okay? It means this, is that if you're in an emotional state and you don't learn to transcend it, you don't learn to grow beyond it, you're going to stay stuck in that state. Your emotional frequency determines your economic frequency. And your emotional frequency is determined by the stories you tell yourself. It's the bullshit you're holding on to. That's why I got to change all that this week. Because when you're holding on to these states, you're going to get stuck. And you probably tell me if this is right. And just say yes, put yes in the chat box if you can resonate with this in any capacity. That you feel stuck in your business. Or you feel like there's money challenges. Or you feel that you're hitting a plateau in your business in some capacity. Yeah, completely true. I'm very stuck, Monique is saying. Fuck yes. Just burned out. Money challenges. Let me ask you this. How many of you feel trapped by your business? You feel trapped by your business. I thought business was supposed to give you freedom. I thought business was supposed to set you free because the world of entrepreneurialism, that's where everything is made. And it is. But we talked about this a little bit earlier. We talked about the inspired entrepreneur and then the grinded out entrepreneur. The difference is this, is that if you're going to live a life that's actually fulfilled, your business better be filled with inspiration. And what that means is that you better be excited by it in order to grow it. And please pardon me by saying you better, because that's not my intention. I don't mean to project on you. This is just something that I had to learn the hard way. And I didn't do it in the beginning. I had a business that I was super successful in my industry. And I had one of the largest practices in the country. I was 26, 27 years old, making $250,000 a month. Like, that's a lot of money for a 26-year-old kid. At least it was for me, right? Maybe you guys come from a world where it's not, but for me, it was a lot of money, right? My family grew up. My parents, amazing. They're watching this right now. Sometimes I snap at them just because they think differently than I do. And how many people snap at their parents sometimes, once in a while? And the ones who say no, you're all lying to me, damn it. You're all lying to me. We do it because we love them. We're allowed to, I think. But you snap at them inside of that. And it's not that you don't love them, but you snap at them and then you look at it and say, because they think differently than you do. But you needed that thinking in your life in order to become the person you are today. And you needed that journey to go through it. But then you look at your life, and I was sitting there, I was making $2.4 million a year, 26 years old, spending money, popping bottles like nobody's business. And I thought, you know what? I had the world in the palm of my hands. I was able to do what it is I wanted to do. Create the world that I wanted to create until it all stops. Until you realize that, you know what? It's not the possessions that's going to show up. It's not the working harder. It's not the grinding it out that made it successful. What made it successful is that it was doing what it is that I love to do. Now, let me ask you, you tell me, how many of you would love to be in a business where you get up in the morning and you love to do what it is that you do every single day? Please put up your hands if that's real. Yeah, I think that's probably true for most of us, right? Not Darlene. She doesn't want to love it anymore. She doesn't like loving. Oh, she does. Oh, she does. All right, cool. So she didn't expect me to call her out like that. See, you guys don't know. I see all of you here. So if you're not playing with me, I'm going to call you out. That's part of the game. But if you're not doing what it is you love to do, let me ask you this. What about the customer on the other side? Do they want to do business with someone who doesn't love what they do? Come on. No, they don't. People can be manipulated and sold a lot of shit, but they know when someone's inspired. They know when somebody loves what it is that they love to do. They know on the inside, and you can feel it. This is not your first challenge. This is not your first rodeo in any capacity. But you know what? Some of you have been on other challenges with me. Some of you have been in other programs with me. Some of you have done just challenges with me. But you came back because something inside of you said, you know what? This guy, he's unique. He's different. Isn't that right, Tasha? Isn't that right? Yeah, something's different because this guy doesn't live on the same side of the planet that says work it out and work your ass off. And this guy doesn't live there. This guy works in a lane that's unique to himself, and it's his lane. Here's the thing this week, what we've got to start doing is we got to get you into your lane, not everybody else's lane. We got to get you into your lane. You can be in the same business as everybody else, but you've got to learn to dance in it in your own lane. When you learn to learn to be in a different lane for yourself, and you learn to live in that lane, then every other lane says, I'm not interested. That's going to say, I'm not interested. And you're going to look at it, and you're not going to judge yourself by your money. You're not going to, all these questions you answered, you're not going to judge yourself by your income. You're going to look at your world and say, you know what? I'm just going to grow because I get to serve people. Man, think about that for your business. What if you could just get up in the morning and serve your people and not have to think about anything else? Do what you do, love to do it, and serve more people. That would be a different game. And I just want you to take a second and really feel that. I'm trying to let things land with you guys because I want you guys today to just to realize, hey, look, I can have this. And I'm not speaking from an ivory tower. I'm not speaking from an ivory tower. I do a program randomly whenever I kind of feel like doing it. It's called Impact. It's a mastermind that I do. And I just finished it a couple weeks ago. And do you mind if I take a tangent? Is that okay if I maybe take a tangent? Is that okay? Okay, great. Because I'm gonna take a little side tangent that I wasn't planning on, but I think it's going to be valuable for you guys, right? Because I want you guys to hear this. So we did this Impact Mastermind a couple weeks ago, and we had 15 entrepreneurs from across the country. Some of you were there. I see some of you who were there. And we had this young lady, and she's on here too, and I won't call her out, but who was struggling to build a business that was against the grain of her family's model. Anyone ever feel like that? Like you've got to do something completely different than the entire family? To do what it is you want to do, to be completely inspired from the inside, to make yourself whole. You're like something inside of you says, you know what? I don't care. I want to fucking do this. But you hear your mom and your dad, maybe your brother, maybe your uncle on the sideline saying, well, you can't make money doing that. You shouldn't do that. And you're asking yourself, but this is what I know I would love to do. This is what I know I would love to. I was born to do this. But they say you were born to do something completely different. Because you know what? It's our mom and dad, because they understand the language of the guy upstairs. Most of the time, they're the ones who are giving you advice on your life, but they haven't figured out how to live their own life inspired, have they? Kind of true. Kind of harsh, but true. So they're the ones telling you that this is what you need to do in order to be successful in your life. But they haven't figured out how to be inspired and successful on their own. And they're telling you this is what you need to do with your life. And you're sitting there judging yourself and saying, you know what? This is what mom and need to do. So this young lady, she's struggling because she's trying to keep everybody happy. And I don't know about you, but if you've ever tried to keep everybody happy, I have, for sure. And you know the only person I kept who was miserable in it was me. Was me. It's completely exhausting, Jackie. It's impossible. You're never going to make everybody happy. It's not even humanly possible. But we have this idealism that it's supposed to be that way. So long story short, so we get to this young lady, we break through, she's at the mastermind, I spend some time, I crack through it, and then we had this unique opportunity because we were all going to my house afterwards in the evening, and we were going to sip on some water and mango juice for the evening. That was the plans for the evening. That's what we were doing that night. And so we go to my house, and I said, you know, we've got this unique opportunity because my parents were actually at home at the house because they're visiting from Canada with all this Corona stuff. I said, would you guys like to hear from my parents exactly what they would say about this whole journey of entrepreneurialism? And everybody, like everybody across the board, puts up their hand and says, yes, I would love to hear from what your parents have to say. Because do you think being an entrepreneur is easy? No, of course not. Do you think I had to go through my own journey of doing something completely? Because look, I'm a doctor. I'm supposed to be in practice. I had $1 million plus business. And I sold it all to get on YouTube with you. To get on YouTube and Facebook to be with you. And everyone said, that's stupid. That's crazy. You can't do that. And I said, you know what? That's why I was born, damn it. That's why I'm here. And so we go back to the house. And everyone circled around. It was one of the coolest and most inspiring moments of my life, where we're all sitting around and we have people in their 60s, people in their 20s, everyone's sitting there. And it wasn't like they were picking my brain. They were picking my parents' brain. And they were saying, what's it like to be the parent of an entrepreneur and to do something that wasn't on the traditional path of success? And my dad said it best. He said it so well. I just want to share this with you guys. He said, you know what? He goes, I was the first person who was against him. I was the first person to sit and say, you know what? You shouldn't. You're stupid. You're making a huge mistake with your life. And he said, you know what? And gratefully, my son, this is my dad's language. He said, he slapped my face. And that's kind of my dad's way of saying, officially, I didn't officially slap my face. Like that'd be stupid, right? Like, my dad's a little man, he'd break. It'd be a whole thing. Like, it wouldn't happen, right? But he said he slapped me in the face. That means that he proved me wrong. That's his way of saying he proved me wrong. I said, Dad, would you ever want me to go back? Someone asked him, they said, would you ever want him to go back and do what he was doing before? Because it was built-in security for what he'd created. And he said, never. Never would I want him to do that. So the people that you think sometimes who are not on your side, they're on your side, but they don't know how to think about entrepreneurialism the way you do. They don't know what it's like to be this entrepreneur, to have this burn on the inside, to go do something with your life. They don't know what that's like. They don't know what that the world looks like. And look, let's also be real. Technology has changed so much. They don't even know what's possible. They don't know what's possible. Think about it. In the last year, all of us are together right now because of Corona, for lack of better words. That's the reality of it. Zoom is real. We were using Zoom a long time ago, before Corona, but everybody now knows Zoom. The 70 and 80-year-old population now understands Zoom. And that's all because times have to change. So I say this to you guys, not to impress upon my parents, but I'm trying to get you to realize that the people that are against you sometimes are the ones that you need to actually learn to transcend. They're the ones that you need to transcend because their emotions are the ones that's stopping you. They're the ones that are trying to stop you, right? Because here's the problem, is that when we let other people determine our journey of success, whether it be business, whether it be life, we stay stuck in their journey, not your own journey. Determine our journey of success, we stay stuck in their journey of success, not our own. But entrepreneurialism isn't about that. It's about rewiring your thinking to live on your expression of life. That's the beauty of entrepreneurialism. That's why I love it. It's about learning to live in your expression of life, of what you could be, what you want to be. What this innate thing is on the inside is to desire to do. Because since I was 7 years old, I had one thing I wanted to do. And I'm doing it right now with you. And I love it. I love it. Can you tell that I love doing what I do? Like, this is not a laborious task in any capacity. I do this because I love to do it. I want to do it. I get up every morning thinking, you know what, I can't wait to go inspire people and make people shift in their life so they wake up to who they are. That is the name of the game. And the more I can do that, the more my life gets fired. The more I wake up inside. That's what you want to be able to build. And I say this because I want you to see that whatever this thing is on the inside for you, it's yours. It's not mine. It's your journey to do that. But you're going to have to go through some obstacles along the way. You're going to have to go through the naysayers. And you're going to have to go through that journey. And the only thing that sits from here to that place where you want to go is the 8 inches in between here. Because some of you have more than 8 inches because you're thick-headed and your head's bigger than that. Because you're stuck in your stories more than that. And we've got to take you from that story to remove that. And that 8 inches determines your entire life. It determines everything. So we've got to move through that, right? Because here's the problem inside this I want you to get. When you start living your business on someone else's platform, you're going to start feeling this emotion. Now, you tell me if this is right. You start feeling a lack of success, don't you? What does a lack of success? Put it down for me in the chat box here. What does a lack of success look like for you? How would you describe it? What's the emotion that shows up for you? Let's take a second while I grab a sip of water. Unhappy, disappointment, frustration, down on yourself, defeated, guilt, fear of failure, not going for it, fake, resentment, idleness, insecurity. Okay, great. Shameful. Yeah, these are all huge, right? Here's the interesting thing. If you've been sleeping, you want to wake up right now. All of these emotions are your gifts for you to wake up to get you back aligned to who you are. You're just not aware to it because you think it's stuck in your story. And you've been told that this story is real for you. And it's not. It's the journey you've gone through to be able to serve humanity in the way that you were designed. It's not arbitrary. Right? Like Naomi was telling us yesterday in the pre-launch or the party last night, where she was telling us about her growing up in a very unique way, in a very unique fashion. I'm not going to share it, but in a very unique fashion, in a unique world. But that's her journey. But she's got to learn to master the thinking around that journey so that she can express who it is. Because here's the thing. When she starts changing her thinking, the ripple effect of that thinking is going to affect the lives of millions of people. And this work is about affecting the lives of millions of people. It's not just about making yourself successful and living in a poppin' bottles lifestyle. Great, you can pop bottles, then what? How many bottles can you pop? Because at some point you're going to pass the fuck out. That's reality. Eventually you're going to say, you know what, no more alcohol, please, I can't do it. Because your liver's going to say, I'm done. So then what are you going to do with your life? If you're searching to make money, you're going to look at your life and say, I'm looking to make money. Now where's the money? Now you have the money. Now what are you going to do with your life? Because once you get meaning, once you get that meaning inside fixed in, your world is going to change. But if you're stuck on money, if you're stuck on success, and you're stuck on success from the outside in versus the inside out, you're going to hold yourself back instead of living an inspired life. And we've got masters from all over the world who are living an inspired life, making a difference in people's lives. Living fulfilled. Oh, fulfillment. What does that word even mean? Here's the interesting thing. The entrepreneur doesn't know the word of fulfillment because they call it success. And then they get success and they say, I'm not happy. I must need to search for fulfillment. So they give away all their success thinking that that's the path to fulfillment. Should I say that again? The entrepreneur calls fulfillment success. And then when they get the success, they realize that that's not what it is they look for. And they actually go to search for fulfillment. And they think they need to get rid of everything in order to have the actual fulfillment. So then they go back to start ground zero. You've all known people like this. And hey, you may have been one of them. And I was. I was. Because I didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. Until I started to rewire my life. But these emotions we're holding, these emotions that we have, these emotions are the baseline that we need to use to understand. Because these emotions are the feedback to our blind spots. They're the feedback to our blind spots. Because every one of you is successful. It's just not successful in what you think it's supposed to look like. Because you have an image out there, not in here, out there of what success is supposed to mean, what it's supposed to look like. Maybe it's a car to be a certain way. Maybe it's a set of abs to be a certain way. Maybe it's your muscles to look to a certain way. Maybe it's to have a business that's doing all this money, you can travel, and that's all you need to do. I don't know what it is, but you have this image of it outside there. But the brain doesn't care about your image. It's not built on abundance. The brain doesn't give a shit on abundance. It doesn't know what abundance is. The brain is built on survival. That's it. And you've been successful this whole time to survive. And it's made the decisions it's needed to in order for you to survive your life. Now, I know I'm getting this is a lot on day one. Would you agree this is a lot on day one? Okay, I'll stop. I'll back it off here and I won't do any more. I was like, no, give me more. I hope it's okay. I'm going to over deliver. I've been known to over deliver. I hope that's okay with you guys. Rebecca, is that okay? She's like, I don't know. Because I want you to get inside this is that when you actually go forward inside this and you understand, okay, look, if I look for success on the outside in versus the inside out, there's going to be a problem with that. But the emotions that you're getting are the feedback that you're delusional about what your form of success is. I'll say it again. The emotions you're getting is the feedback to wake you up from the success that you think you're supposed to be getting. Your brain doesn't care about that. Your brain cares on survival. So let me explain this formula. This is the breakthrough formula I'm going to go through with you. Your current blind spots. The current blind spots you don't see right now are the places in your life that you've actually been successful to survive but you don't currently honor. Remember I said consciousness is about transcending the emotion, not to stay harbored in it. So I'm going to teach you, first thing I got to get you to do is to transcend the emotion. And the first thing to transcend the emotion is to realize that, you know what, you've been successful your entire life. And I could give you the same thing that you've heard a million. You know what, the world makes less than $2 a day. And you should be grateful for that. And as soon as I sit and tell you that you should be grateful, you're thinking, yeah, you know what, now I feel guilty, don't I? I feel guilty for wanting more. Anyone ever feel that way? It's like, wow, I'm grateful. But now I feel guilty but I want more in my life. I want to have a greater level of success. But we compare it to people that have less. But then what we do is we compare it to people that have more. But it's an outside-in game. So current blind spots, plus the next phase of it, is your future survival. Plus your future survival. If the brain is built on survival, then what we've got to do is we've got to make sure that you survive in the future. And we've got to make sure that we create the environment for survival in the future, not just feeling good. Not just feeling good, because that's a dopamine hit. And dopamine doesn't run your body. Cortisol does. What? Say that again, Dr. T. What you talking about, Willis? And you remember different strokes? Come on. You guys remember different strokes, don't you? Some of you do. Okay. Naomi does. We go way back, right? People think it's dopamine. Dopamine is the chasing neurotransmitter. Cortisol is the hormone that makes you survive. The inability to adapt to cortisol is what's making you survive. And so what we've got to do is we've got to take your current blind spots, change those, and then add your future survival in play, and then realize what it's going to take for you to survive in the future. If you don't know what it's going to take for you to survive in the future, you'll be unprepared, unplanned, and as an entrepreneur, you won't be able to navigate that psychology. It'll keep you stuck inside of it. Plus, your root experiences, which we're going to cover more on Wednesday and Thursday. Your root experiences. So, your current blind spots, plus your future survival, plus your root experiences. Excuse me, pardon me, minus your root experiences. I apologize. Minus your root experiences. Okay? And for those who don't know, I'll explain what a root experience is. A root experience is something in your life that has either created you to actually move forward or stay stuck. And our entire body, we're not going to go too heavy, our entire body is designed with these root experiences. Our entire life is designed with them. And you don't know where they are. You don't know what they mean. You don't know exactly where it stems from. But you go through these experiences in your life. Maybe it's a divorce. Maybe it's a bankruptcy. Maybe it's super success. Maybe it's being a valedictorian. I don't know what it is. But we have these root experiences. So we got to eliminate those root experiences that prevent us from moving forward to what we want. And this is what I call the breakthrough formula. Doesn't matter the level you're at, doesn't matter the journey you're at, doesn't matter if you're an ideapreneur, propreneur, or an entrepreneur. Doesn't matter what it is. Your current blind spots is what's stopping you from seeing where you're already successful. That's a blind spot. If you can't honor yourself for where you are today, that's a blind spot. If you're chasing what you have to go for tomorrow, then you're in a state of a blind spot. We've got to honor that first about ourselves. Then you've got to build that, then add security in the future so you can see, okay, what does my future survival look like? What's it going to take for me to survive 10 years from now? Here's what I'm going to tell you. Most people have not figured it out. Most people have not figured it out. They think it's an arbitrary number. They think it's an arbitrary place. So those of you who are coming to the Wealth Rewire with me, you're going to get a huge wake-up call in what you think you're going to need to survive in the future. Because health and longevity, if you plan on living past the next 10 years, you have the potential to live probably another additional 35 years. Because in the next 10 years, what's happening is that the entire world and field of longevity is changing. And we are able to now extend lifespan by a massive, massive amount. So if you don't really have a true system to make money, to build longevity, to build income, then you may outlive your money. You may outlive your money. And I'm going to sit and say, because someone just put in your chat box, is the idea of residual income. How many people would love residual income? Please put up your hands if you would. Tasha's like, oh my God, residual income? Fuck yes. I'm going to tell you that if you want residual income, you're smoking a lot of crack. Because there's no such thing as residual income. There's no such thing as residual income. Watch. Give me any business. It doesn't matter. Are you going to need, even your stocks and investments, you can say, you know, I have a portfolio that I have, and it just makes me money. Yeah, but you know what? You have to sit down with somebody. You have to meet with somebody, or you have to manage it at some level. You have to sit down and navigate it, don't you? Of course you do. Then that's not residual. When you say you're looking for residual income, it means that you hate what you're doing now and you want to do what it is you love to do. You just want to find a better way to make money. That's what it means. So that's all it means. What it tells me that you're in a state of desperation for money, not a state of inspiration making money. That's the difference. And we're going to cover more of that inside over the next few days. I want you to gather that if you're looking for residual income, you've been sold a bill of goods. You've been sold a bill of goods. Passive income is a different game, but residual is not the same thing. Residual means I have to do nothing. Passive income, there's no such thing as just doing nothing. Whatever business you have, you can have 50 businesses. I don't care. You're going to need somebody who's looking over it. Because whatever, and you know this, you've heard this before, wherever your focus goes, your money grows. If you're not paying attention to your money, what happens to your money? It gets lost. What happens to relationships? If you're not paying attention to the relationships, they get lost. That's what happens. So we've got to make sure that we take care of that. So your homework for today is in your email. It's been emailed to you. Take a look at it. Here it is. And I'm going to go through this with you, okay? First thing I got to get you to do is understand that you are successful. Number one, I got to get you to realize that you are successful. It's not an arbitrary thing. It's not a false thing. You are successful. There's no question about it. What you just don't see is where it is. You don't see where that success is for yourself. And that's what we got to change, right? Oh, what happened to my thing here? Not sure where it went. I'm having some technical challenges. Okay, well, someone's coming to save me. Someone's coming to save me. I don't know what happened to my board, my TV technology. All right, so pull it up on the screen, Des, if you could. Let's pull it up so that I can just kind of walk through it with everybody so that they can see it. Okay? While she pulls that up, there we go. Fantastic. So let's go through this so everyone sees this. Can you guys see this? Just put yes in the chat box if you guys can all see it. Okay, fantastic. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at this, and it asks you this question. I want you to fill this out in detail. Is where have you been successful? In your mind's eye, you've created a point of success at some point. There's no question. You've done it. The question is going to be, is when was it? When was it? Okay, let's come back to the board here, Des, so I can go through this to the board. Let's come back here so everyone can see me. Okay, so we can see this. Great. So what you're going to do is, where have you been successful? I'll take me as an example. One of the times I've been successful, let's just say, you know what? I've been successful when I graduated school. Okay, so graduation. Graduation was a moment of success for me. Okay, fantastic, great. Who saw that? Okay, my dad saw that, and my mom saw that. Okay, fantastic, great. What about another time I've been successful? What else? Where else have I been successful? Let's see. Maybe when I opened my practice and I saw my first patient. Okay. So opening practice, opening and building my practice. Okay, who saw that? You know what? My ex-wife saw that, and my parents saw that. Cool, and the patient saw that. Okay, fantastic. Now, what else successful? Where else have I been successful? I hope is this helping you guys, just kind of me walking through this so you can do this for yourself, right? And where else have I been successful? I've been successful when you know what? I think I've been successful so far at least, as a father. Because I have two very inspiring children who are helping. My daughter runs a Real Kids program. My son is starting the Real Athletes program, and they're just making a difference in people's lives. And they're living an inspired life. So I would sit and say, you know what? I feel I've done all right in the world of being successful as a dad. And let me see, when was a moment that happened? Oh yeah. When my daughter she got selected to be by the school to be on the Illinois State something or another. I felt pretty successful as a father in that. Okay, great. So that moment where was it? It was being a dad. And when was it? It was when she got selected for this Illinois State thing. Okay, great. Who saw that happened? Well, the governor of the state saw it. Interesting. Okay. So can you see that there's a trend, a form that's starting to happen? Have I put business down yet? Have I put teaching and speaking yet? I haven't yet, have I? I've just put these three things. Now you're going to list this out and you're going to go all the way down the ladder. Now maybe you get to this point where, you know what? When we successfully, when I was in front of 100 million people, helping them and educating them. That was a pretty successful moment when we actually hit that number. Who saw it? Well, I saw it. Amanda saw it. My team saw it. Oh, okay. Great. I'm doing this exercise with you, and I'll tell you what's happening. I know this about myself too. And what's happening is this is shifting. What's happening is the dopamine levels going up. The oxytocin levels going up. I can feel the neurotransmitter physically changing in my psychology right now. The body is changing as I'm doing this exercise. So I want you to realize that these exercises we're going to do this week is not just arbitrary. They are exact processes designed to make sure that we are changing the neurochemistry of your body. Okay? So this is your homework. If you've registered, you've got this email. Now, if you're on Facebook or YouTube and you need to get this homework, go to Think Wealthy Challenge and get the paperwork. They can't email you unless you get actually registered for this. So make sure you do that so they can get you the information. This is the homework. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to do the homework tonight. And your assignment is this. Okay, your assignment is this, is once you do the homework, I want you to come along and come out and do a Facebook video inside the Get Real group and tell us what realizations that you had. I'm going to be watching videos tonight, and I want to get to know every single one of you inside of this so that we can work together through this. So let's do this together and go through this and work to make sure that we clear this all up and we can walk away together. This is about a community. You know what, April? Danica is going to be supporting you and helping you grow. And Luis, Jennifer is going to get your back and make sure that you grow as well. And Lynn, it doesn't matter where you're from, but you're sitting here tired like this. So I got to get you to sit up and be a little bit more alert and wake up, because we're all in this together. Because Tasha's going to be checking on you. She's going to be like, Lynn, Trivedi called you out for being slouchy. You remember he used to be a chiropractor, so you got to make sure that you sit up straight when you're around him. It's part of his old history. I'm having some fun with you guys, but the reality is this is a community. All of us are going to work together, because in 5 days, we're going to build, we're going to grow, and we're going to transform each other's lives because of this, together. Because here's what's going to happen. When you do this, your self-worth is going to change. It's going to build, it's going to grow. And the secret to your net worth is your self-worth. And if you don't have self-worth, you can't grow your net worth. And tomorrow, we're going to go through, and I'm going to go through the entire self-worth formula with you guys to make sure that you have the self-worth you need to be able to transition and break through whatever plateau you have. But the first thing we got to do is we got to find our blind spots. And these blind spots are the areas that we don't see where we're already successful. That is going to be a huge opportunity for all of you guys as we go through this and go through this. So here's the thing. Let me recap for today. We covered a lot today. Did we?
Hey guys, just a second. They're just changing over. Hey Ashley, we see you in the pic. Can you change that over? One second, guys. Little audio thing. Hey Des, I see you guys. What's up? No worries. Here, let me do something real quick that might be able to help you guys. There, now you guys can see me as I get that fixed. I know Dr. T is going to close out here in just a second with everything that's going on, but just as a reminder, guys, we're coming close to coming up for Q&A. So if you guys in the VIP have questions, make sure you guys go and post your, or start writing down your questions so you guys get those ready, because Dr. T covered a lot of content with today so far. So we want to make sure that you guys are able to get your questions answered as VIPs at the end of today. I see some people already raising their hands. I don't know if that's for questions or not.
I'm trying to figure it out, guys.
You completely should. Des, can you just Des?
I can't get
I
it
can hear you
on.
guys. While you guys are trying to change that over. If you guys can change over to the Mage Well. I'm sorry, I'm more like the tech team, so I think they're like waiting for me, but I'm gonna let them figure it out. I know they can. I have faith in our team. Give them some love in the chat box. Let them know, because I know they are freaking out. They're sweating right now. Like, they didn't get the cool like Vanna White moment I had where I just helped Dr. T like pull up a thing. They're sweating right now, and I'm loving it. This, guys, by the way, is like part of entrepreneurship if you haven't figured it out. Where you gotta pivot, you gotta adjust, and you gotta be ready on the fly. And they're all trying to keep their composure, and I'm so proud of them right now. And I know they're gonna be able to make it happen. If not, I'll have Dr. T jump over by me and we'll finish it off here. They're loving on you guys right now, so we're taking care of you guys. No worries. I would love to hear from you guys. Maybe some of your takeaways post some of your like takeaways so far from today's stuff in the chat box, and I'll read them out loud so you guys can all start to do it. I see some on Facebook too, which is really cool. That's been happening. We'll get you back. No worries, Lynn. We got you. And on Facebook, like, thank you guys, we love you guys. Let us know like something, a realization you've had. Reed saying, realizing I have more self-worth than I thought. That's huge. Tasha saying your self-worth equals your net worth. That is amazing as well. That is such an eye-opener the first time you figure that out. I am even now successful. I like that. I thought you said not at first, and I was like, what? No, I see that, Tara. I am now successful. No worries, Claire. We feel you. Let's see. I got Jackie saying consciousness is not just thinking; it's the evolution of the emotions and transcending of the emotions. Your emotional frequency determines your economic frequency. Ooh, Jackie was taking some notes on that one. I like that. Ooh, that's moving a little fast. Cortisol makes you survive. That's a good one. I see Kayla saying learning and growing is a form of success. I'm okay. The right path at the right time. Yes, you guys are really grabbing onto this. You guys have been really great in the chat box learning. What's that going on Facebook? I'm going to see it over here. Money is only a byproduct of our mindset. Good one, Andrew. I like that. George is saying I'm successful even when things are going my way. Yes, I'm loving these. Just like Dr. T said earlier, learning that having that one takeaway and building on that. And Dr. T is taking us through a process. I'll read some more of these in just a second. Keep hosting them. Oh, I think I hear Dr. T now. I think I can hear
You guys
him.
hear me?
I think I hear you.
Hey,
there you are.
You know, you guys, I swear, I just gave away the $1 billion formula that I learned from Jeff Bezos, and you guys missed the whole thing. Oh my goodness! Now what are we gonna do? I'm gonna have to repeat the whole thing for you guys, and hope I get it right. I'm screwing with you
We don't
guys,
have time
obviously.
today, Dr. T. Maybe it's tomorrow. Just kidding.
Let me just say this: is that as we progress, right? Technology happens, shit happens. In any entrepreneurial journey, do you think you're going to have to navigate and pivot and jump through hurdles? And are things going to go right the first time you do it, or second time, or the third time, or the fifth time, or the 12th time? No, because that's the game. Because with every journey of entrepreneurial step that you take, you're going to have its own journeys of challenges. It's part of the game. So I hope that our screw ups today are allowing you to sit and see that it's not screw ups, because you can only control what you can control. I can sit here and get pissed off and figure, and we can all do that, but we can't control it. I'll give you an example of this. I was at a flight, flying to Atlanta, as a matter of fact, Naomi. I was flying to Atlanta, and I was sitting at the Atlanta airport, and the guy's bags weren't there. And there was this, the whole crowd was sitting there. They were just pissed off at the airline, at the guy, like the American Airlines person. He's like, and they're all yelling at him. And the poor guy's like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. The bags aren't here. The bags aren't here. And it's like, what is this guy gonna do? Like, he's gonna go literally carry the bags and bring them here to, like, what? You can't get angry at the guy. What is he gonna do? There's no way. So here's what I'm gonna tell you. The first thing psychologically you got to remember inside of any journey in this entrepreneurial game is that psychologically, only give attention to what you can control. Only give attention to what you can control. I can't control certain things. You can't control certain things. But what you can control is how you adapt. Because stress is going to happen. How you adapt will determine how you play the game. So just something to consider with that. So with that being said, I'm glad everyone can hear me. But I want to make sure that we dive in. And just give me a thumbs up if you guys got your homework for today, right? Thumbs up. Everyone's good? All right, fantastic. Look, I know that this has been a power-packed day already. Day one has been a lot of info. For those of you who are online and on Facebook and on YouTube, thank you guys for joining me today and being a part of this today. And I hope you found it valuable. Now, if you're interested in joining and coming on board and being a part of this in the upgrade and in the VIP upgrade, we're going to go into some VIP Q&A right now, and I'm going to answer some questions for people inside here. And we're going to have a little discussion and be able to share that with you. And if you're interested in joining, all you got to do is go to thinkwealthychallenge.com, upgrade to VIP, join us in here. Like, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a great party in here. We're going to have a lot of discussions, and this is where Catherine and Courtney and Karen are going to be able to ask questions that are going to be able to shift their thinking. If you get the opportunity to ask questions that can isolate the problem for you and help you grow, I'll tell you, the whole game changes. I pay $3,000, $5,000 an hour to many mentors of mine, because if they can answer one thing for me, it changes my entire business. Something to consider for yourself. So that being the case, for everyone online, thank you guys for joining me so much. I will see you guys tomorrow. And for the rest of us in VIP, I'll see you guys in just a minute.
Awesome. Say bye to everybody back home, guys. Say bye to them. They're like, Just kidding, guys. Love you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. VIPs, it is some time for some Q&A. Who's excited? I see hands already raised, ready to go. What's up? Okay, so just as a reminder, we're going to go around and we got about 30 minutes to do Q&A. So I'm going to dive in just a second. Remember, guys, to focus your questions on the content and material and training that Dr. T's gone through, like yesterday and today. Nothing, super specific, like just for in your business health, anything like that, as we won't have the time or context for Dr. T to dive into that. So we'll keep it so everyone's going to be able to learn with this. So let's go first up. We're going to go over to Miss, where did it just go? It's just my thing. Let's go over to Miss Sandra Hernandez, everybody. Give it up for Sandra.
Sandra?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you. Just really quick, you were mentioning about being your brain is built in survival, and thanks to your work, I know I was in survival. How can I stay out of the cortisol zone once I move out of or get into entrepreneur stage?
That's a great question. So the question, if I can hear you correctly, what I think you said, Sandra, was how do you get out of once you get into the entrepreneurial stage, how do you get into there, and then how do you stay there and not go back into the cortisol stage, right? If I'm correct in hearing that?
Yes, correct.
Perfect. Here's the thing, is that the ability to think and adapt and transcend the emotion is the secret to making sure you don't fall back into that cortisol state. That's the whole game. And our stress is going to happen? Sure, look at how many tech challenges have we had in this hour? Fuck, I don't know. Fucking more than I wanted. I'll tell you that. That I do know. But you've still got to be able to deliver inside of that. You still got to be able to perform when all this is going on around you. And that's when you keep cortisol down at bay. And you've got to master that. If not, that cortisol creeps up and goes into your brain and then starts running your brain. And then your body starts building that. And that chronic stress of cortisol is what causes you chaos. So we want to make sure that you do that. Now, this week, we're going to cover through that. We're going to go through that with you so that you can adapt, so that you can do that. And you're in the mastery world, and that's what that world is designed, to make sure that you're trained to be able to do it on a day-to-day basis with consistency as well. So you're going to get all of that and more for sure this week.
Yes. You know how much that has helped me a lot. But yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Great question. Let's give it up for Sandra. You know what? I forgot to do this with Sandra, but Sandra, you got to tell us where you're from and what you do so everyone gets to know you. I forgot. It was my bad. And who are your favorite superheroes? I want to play the superhero game today.
Well, if you remember at first, Get Real, I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. But today, in real life, my superhero is my daughter. In the animation life is the Elastigirl. So
No.
I am from Mexico, and I am an investor.
Awesome. Great job. Great job. Let's give it up for Sandra, ladies and gentlemen. Great work.
Great job, Sandra. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, next up, Dr. T, we have Paul Congress. Give it up for Paul, everybody. Paul, let us know where you're from, what you do, and who your favorite superhero is.
Hey, Dr. T. Hey, everybody. I live in the Silicon Valley, California, and I am currently door dashing, and that's actually, there's an accomplishment around that, which is I'm somehow managing to pay $3,000 rent, and primarily through DoorDash. And it's like some kind of magic that happens working with Dr. T, even though I am like a D- student. So I want to acknowledge that. In terms of superhero, I've always liked, I think it's Green Lantern, because he represents the ability to manifest. And so I guess back to my question, right? So I'm sort of wondering about grief. I was at Delta with you, 8 months ago, and my brother had passed away. And really the work I've done with you has been amazing around that. So his dog just died, and she was my dog, and kind of in a way the love of my life. And I'm not really grieving, like crying and such. And I guess I'm wondering, am I sort of doing what you just is, give it 10/10 control? Because obviously the dog's gone. I can't control that. Or am I like delusional about it? And part of it,
No,
like
I
I'm
don't.
very tired. I'm like sleeping a lot. Yeah.
Well, there's
So
several stages, and I don't want to go down this rabbit hole too far, but I
yeah,
do want to say this, is that when you grieve, it's simply the idea that you have lost something, right? Now you can intellectualize it, but there's still an emotional component, which is why you're sleeping a lot, because there's still that emotional component of stress that's on you. So
yeah.
it's one thing to intellectualize it. There's another thing to integrate it. So what I can tell you is that there's still an integration that needs to happen with that. But the fact that you can intellectualize it is great. Oftentimes we get stuck in grief because of the idea that we don't want to let go of what we're addicted to and attached to. So
Yeah.
the whole journey that you're on is to allow yourself to be authentic to who you are, and just let that kind of go in its place. So yes, you're in a state of grief. You're just not as deep into it as maybe you were in the past.
Got it. Okay.
And that's great.
I guess sort of have this concern, like I should be crying. I need to release the emotion, the toxins, the whatever, and am I going to like blow a gasket? Am I going to like blow up at somebody, with anger totally inappropriately, or, you know what I mean? Like, so.
I don't know that you are. All I know is that you're literally just doing what exactly is right for you.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
it does. Thank you.
Right? People go through the 5 stages of grief, and this is what you're supposed to do when you grieve. You know what? Let me tell you this. Let me just say this. Let's pull Paul back up here. Let's keep that split screen, please. I want to talk to Paul inside that. Thank you. So let me just explain this. Just because somebody thinks that the society thinks the world should work a certain way doesn't mean that you have to succumb to that. Just because the world says this is what you should do doesn't mean you fucking need to do that. You got to step outside the box and sit and say, you know what? If that's what everyone else is doing, why the hell would I follow? Why would I follow the path of the masses when I want to live a life of mastery? Because the masters play a different game. The masses play a different game. So if you're going to live a life of mastery, you can't follow the path of the masses and sit and say, you know what? I want to be a master. Do you see the completely convoluted context of that? It's oxymoronic, and this is why you're in VIP. Because if you're going to do everything that everyone else says, these are the psychological states, this is what everyone's supposed to look. I can take grief and in 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, maybe half hour, 30 minutes, dissolve it, be done, finished. Rocky's on this call, 17 years of grief gone in 40 minutes, like that. So I say that to you because just because it's been done that way doesn't mean you can't do it a different way.
Yeah.
And have the courage to be able to step outside that. Now, I'm saying this as a lesson for everyone, not just in the form of your psychology. And I hope you can take this and transpose this and put this into the world of business. Because just because everybody said this is how it's supposed to be, doesn't mean you need to make it go that way. Just because every psychological person out there says, well, you have to do these things, doesn't mean that you can't come up with a different path and different journey. I know, I did it. Rewiring is not playing the traditional game of psychology. It's not playing the fantasy game. It is literally rewiring your brain to be able to do that. So I'm going to suggest upon you, Paul, maybe, to sit and say, you know what? Just because that's what everyone says I'm supposed to do doesn't mean I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to play the game that I want to play. Because if we're all conscious creators of the universe within, then how does everyone else know the universe within us? Something to ponder, I think.
Beautiful.
Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Cool. Good to see you, buddy.
Give it up for Paul, everybody. Great job, Paul. Awesome, Dr. T. Our next question is going to be from Claire. So, Claire, we're excited to have you here. Let us know where you're from, what you do, and who your favorite superhero is. Give it for Claire.
Thank you so much. I'm from
Claire?
Seattle. My favorite superhero is Babaji. and the Babaji from Yogananda. And I went to look for him in the Himalayas and kind of found him. It was really interesting. My question is, I've gone through a lot of loss around my father and his estate, and I'm gay. I lost everything, and it was all dark material. People moved in. Things were, I could say, I don't know what I should say over something that's being recorded. Our documents did not look real to me. Anyway, the bottom line is my intuition got better. I'm much more on top of my game, but I have not been able to let go completely of that loss. And I have a lot of cortisol, which is due to the PTSD. And I've really been working on it for like 3 years, really hard. And I'm just wondering if you have any feedback.
Well, there's a lot that I can talk about that. I'm going to keep it to the context of this for the relative of business, just so I can keep it there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go too far into it, because it's not that you lost anything. Please listen to what I'm going to say. It's not going to make sense completely at this moment. But if you really follow the teachings of Yogananda, then you'll understand then come from that space, you'll understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because they say the same thing in the Vedic literature.
Yep.
Is that there's nothing missing. The only thing that's missing is the awareness. Your job is to match the awareness to what's missing.
Hold on. Nothing missing. Match awareness to what's missing.
And you'll see that there's nothing missing.
Okay. Got it.
And when you do that, you realize you never lost anything.
Bit of a jump.
Nothing missing.
Bit of a jump.
What's that?
Got it. Got it.
And so I will say this to you is, hopefully not to go too far down a rabbit hole here, but it was needed for you to wake up. Now your job is to wake up.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. The PTSD, I mean, the cortisol keeps me awake all night. I mean, and there's no real medical thing I can do. I don't want to take SRIs. They don't work. I mean, numbing yourself out doesn't work. So it's getting the cortisol levels down so I can function better.
Well, start with this. Just start with simple gratitudes. Gratitude lowers your cholesterol, or not cholesterol, your cortisol levels.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Start there. Cool.
Thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Great job.
Awesome. Thanks, Claire, so much. Awesome. Okay, next up, we're going to go over to Lynette Bushman. Give it up for Lynette, everybody. Lynette, let everybody know where you're from, what you do, who your favorite superhero is before you share your question today.
Okay, thanks for having me. So I'm Lynette Bushman. I live in Boise, Idaho, which, like I've said in the past, is clear out west. It's not Iowa, it's Idaho, out by the Oregon coast, the Oregon state. I help people get their inventions on the market. I love helping people with their dreams and bringing them to reality, and all that product development and manufacturing is a real passion of mine. And my superhero, I had to really think about this from the last challenge. I really like Batgirl. I think she's tenacious. I like that about her.
I like that about her too. She's a badass.
And that's what I'm working on.
I love that.
All right. So
what do you got? What's your question?
Yeah. So my question is, I'm not really seeing the connection between when you say emotions or the feedback of our blind spots. Now, I get blind spots and I get the assignment, but I'm just not seeing how you're jiving those emotions.
Sure. I'll say this in a macro perspective. The emotions that you create are stories from the stories of bullshit that you've built upon.
Okay.
And those aren't true. And so you create emotions from the bullshit that you've been holding on to. So all your stories, when you sit and say that I'm not successful, and I don't feel good, I don't feel great, all that stuff, it's really not true. It's just something that you're comparing yourself to someone else's reality, not your own reality. as a fulfilled entrepreneur, as an entrepreneur who's doing what you love to do and inspired, you're not going to have those. You only have those feedbacks of emotion when you compare your life to somebody else's.
And I do it all the time. I have amazing siblings that are very successful in my book, and I feel like I'm not.
So I'll tell you something very interesting, if I can. Can I take a second and just tell you a little something?
Sure.
So I grew up with a bunch of people that were, so my best friend growing up, he went to the London School of Economics, which is the #1 business school in the world. Yeah, he's not no slouch. Like this guy, him and I were like besties, like we were always together. Another one of my buddies, one of my best friends, he built an entrepreneurial company and sold it for gazillions of dollars. Another one of my buddies is a he is a world-renowned cardiologist and basically lives his life saving lives. And he's like, he speaks all over the world. Like he's that big time. Another one of my buddies is another cardiologist who has created inventions to help people in third world countries do EKGs, and he's developed the product behind it. Another one of my buddies is one of the top dentists in Canada. And then there was me. Now, you grow up in this sphere of influence. And I don't know if you can resonate with this, but I wasn't getting these accolades. I wasn't. Everyone was saying, you know what? I'm not feeling it. I'm not, look at Alok. He's not, what's he doing? Nobody understands it. He's speaking. Like, what is that all about? And I decided at a very early age, I said, where's my zone of genius? I wasn't academically that guy at that time, at least. The guy who was going to get accepted into the London School of Economics. I wasn't that guy who was going to get a free ride to the Ivy, the #1 business school in Canada. I wasn't that guy. But I said, I'm going to figure out the science to live fulfilled. I'm going to figure out the science to master my life. And it's going to take me a little bit longer. But I think that transcends any academic societal information and societal view of success. And so I did. And here's the interesting thing, is all of those success stories I tell you about, they now all call me on how to master their life. But it was because I chose to stay in my zone of inspiration, to do what it is that I was designed to do. It didn't happen on the scale of time, but today, now they sit and say, you know what, Alok, can you help us do this? I've got this going on. My wife is doing this. My kids are doing this. And I see their worlds. They're successful by all degrees and accounts to what society may deem, but they're unfulfilled on the inside. So I say that to you, Lynette, to sit and say the only reason you feel that is because you're comparing your inspiration to the inspiration of those on the outside. And if you're here and you're in my world, then you're not searching for inspiration on the outside. You're looking for the inspiration on the inside. And you're wiser than the average mass of the average masses. That's why you took the action steps to make sure you take charge of your life. That's why you're here. So you're not playing the same game as everybody else. Congratulations, you've evolved to a different level. Does that make sense?
Yes, tons and tons. Yes. Stop comparing and be me. Yep.
And that's the name of the game. And look, like I can easily go and sit and say, you could do this, you could do this, you could be, but the honest truth is I'd rather be me than pretend to be anybody else.
Oh, I've done that, and it's not fun. It's very stressful, and it's feels horrible when I've done parents or whoever wants me to do, and those different paths. I mean, I'm 55. I've done a few things, and until I did this, yes,
I'm just getting started.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just getting started. I promise.
Exactly.
You're just getting started. Let's give it up. Great job, Lynette.
Thank you.
Great job, Lynette. Thank you so much for your question today. Okay, Dr. T, next up we have Lynn Carlson. Give it up for Lynn, everybody. Let us know where you're from, what you do, and who your favorite superhero is before you ask your question on the content today.
Hi, my name is Lynn Carlson. I am in Oklahoma, and I'm a financial advisor.
Awesome, Lynn. And who's your favorite superhero?
And my favorite superhero is Wonder Woman, more probably from my image of her than what she actually does, but just my image of her.
Is that the whole new Superwoman or like old school? The new one?
The new one, yes.
Okay, cool. Me too. That's why. I mean, I like the old one, but like, I mean, come on, you're doing the up level. It's awesome. Let's see. We got Dr. T here. Give me just a second. I love our team right now. Awesome. Well, Lynn, before you share your question, because I want to make sure Dr. T is fully there to be able to focus and do that. You guys are all doing really, really great. Before I pass it back over to Lynn and Dr. T, you guys are doing great. Keep making sure your questions are like focused on the content and material as you're doing it. I know it's so easy to sometimes go into story, but that's okay. One of the tricks that we started doing with one of our client groups that we did is we got everyone to stop, rethink it for a second, and start their thing with "my question is," because it's so easy, right, to share the other stuff. All the masters are like, yes, yes, because it's so easy to share everything else. But it's okay. We're gonna start like our questions a little bit more with "my question is this." Does that help a little bit? Because I know I get like that too when I'm kind of going there with it and everything. So I think that's going to be really beneficial with it. I think I see Dr. T. Yeah, I see you, Dr. T.
Cool, fantastic. All right.
There's you and Lynn, favorite superwoman or superwoman's
All right, Lynn,
your
what do we got?
favorite.
So my question is on the breakthrough formula. I wanted to clarify and make sure that I was understanding. Are our current blind spots the failures that we see that we fail to see our current and past successes? Is the future survival mode redefining our version of success? And how do the root experiences play in?
Good question. So I'll say it this way. Your blind spots are the journeys of your successes that you haven't seen before. You haven't honored that first. The second stage in your future security, which we're going to work, future survival, is setting the path to know what that looks like for yourself, for you to survive, not to just, right? Like the thing is this, is that for some people, survival is making $2,000 a month. For other people, survival is making $200,000 a month. What's the difference? There's a completely different psychology and a completely different path and process for that. So we've got to get that. And the third stage of your root experiences, because the neural frequency that you're holding on to won't allow you to see the next level of standard you want to get your life to. So we've got to remove those root experiences so that you can see it with clarity and vision. If you're holding on to root experiences, the frequency of where you're at, the thinking will not be allowed to evolve enough to see where you're going to. That creates the breakthrough.
Okay.
And when that happens, it's like, oh, so today we're just covering the blind spots. I got to get you to see where your blind spots are. Over the next 3 days or so, we're going to be covering your future security. And day 4 and 5, we're going to be working through your root experiences so that you can actually have the breakthrough and move from the ideapreneur, propreneur to the entrepreneur. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's exactly what I was
Great
looking
question.
for. Thank you so much.
Great question. Where are you from again? I got cut out there. I didn't catch it. Oklahoma. Fantastic. And how did you hear about this?
Nicole Meyer is helping me out right now.
Fantastic. She's brilliant. Great job. I'm glad you're here.
Awesome. Give it up for Lynn, everybody. Great question. Great question. Okay, Dr. T, we have time for one more. So next up, we're going to go over to Miss Tara Heiss. Tara, let everybody know where you're from, what you do, and who your favorite superhero is before you ask your question.
My name is Tara Heiss. I'm from Northern Maryland, and my favorite superhero, probably Batman. I really like Batman a lot. So my question is, we have a few exercises. We have this session, a re-listen you've asked us to do. homework and a video. Is there anything we can do to best absorb it all in our brain and to do our homework the best as far as order, exercise, eating, anything like that that can help us to better absorb this? And then I take it overnight, we'll kind of integrate it.
Great question. It's a great question. I would say this is that if you weren't on the pre-party yesterday, I would listen to that. I would listen to that. It's about an hour. And
I was
just
there.
Oh, you were there. Okay, fantastic. Then you don't need to re-listen to that. Today, I want you to re-listen to this because there's a lot of content that came through today that was said in a very simple way, I believe at least. And so to fully grasp that, and then do your homework behind it, right? So re-listen to this, and then do your homework behind it, and then do your video after that. Those are the steps.
You think we should exercise in between there sometime to make it better, or should we just re-listen like immediately when it comes out?
What exercise? I didn't
Like,
tell you
should we do something in between? Cook dinner.
you can. I think it's a great idea.
exercise?
Anytime you move and get your body moving, you're going to retain better. Your neurogenesis happens in your brain at a much better rate when you're exercising, moving, and getting that brain and pattern in play, for sure. No question about it.
Okay. Well, I thank you very much for that input.
Yeah, great question.
I'm a little detail oriented.
I have a feeling you probably have a degree in accounting or engineering or something detail oriented.
I worked as an engineer, but my degree's not in that, but you know, I was
You worked in it close
engineering
enough.
manager and such. Yeah. Absolutely.
I love the way engineers' brains work. Everything is a methodical process.
If you knew my life, you might question that.
What's that?
If you knew my life, you might question the methodology I've used so far.
You're far more methodical than you will play. You won't be methodical in the things that you don't value, but you'll be very methodical in the things that you value. You obviously value learning, and you obviously value wanting to expand yourself and self-awareness. There's no question about that. That's why you're asking me the question on that. But if I don't know, an area that you don't value so much, you're not going to be as methodical. You're not going to be as linear with it. So you will be very methodical in the things that are highest in your value because your brain is designed that way.
Okay.
So great job. Great question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Give it up for Tara, everybody. Great job, guys. Great job. Thank you, Dr.
Emma
T,
has
so
a question.
much.
You know what? I'm going to go to Emma because she's dying to ask me a question. Emma, I want to go to Emma.
Emma, give us just a second, Dr. T. Okay. Hey, Emma, are you there?
There we go. I pressed unmute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Dr. T, the question I'd like to ask you is...
No. The first question is, where are you from?
I'm sorry. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I'm a family nurse practitioner, nationally certified. I've been everywhere, pediatrics, family, geriatrics, ICU, adult daycare, health, home health, stem cells, veins, you name it. I've done it.
And who's your favorite superhero?
My superhero is my family for sure. I mean, aside from my two very energetic toddlers, who have distracted me this session, but it's really my mom and dad. They have helped me tremendously, and I think you would appreciate coming from your side also what I'm going to ask. It's just a little bit personal, and I'm not ready to kind of ask in front of everybody. If it's possible to do a quick private call.
I can't get you. I mean, if you want to try and get a private call, it's going to cost. That's the only thing. How about this?
Okay.
I've been doing this type of work a long time. And what we fear to express is what we need to express the most. And if you can bring yourself to that point to be able to express it, I won't force it upon you by any capacity, but if you can we give her a safe space to be able to express herself?
What is that safe space?
It's a good question. That's a very good defined question, that you can express who you are, what you want to be with, my whole world is get real.
Right.
So we give you the space to be able to be open and talk about it, but I can't force you to do it. And if you don't feel comfortable, I understand. You can email the office and they'll be happy to set up a specific time and to do that. It's just there's a lot of rigmarole that has to go through that. That's the only thing.
It's gonna be a cost though?
There would be definitely a time for that.
Oh, okay. So, well, COVID has obviously affected me financially, and I'm going through a divorce. So he left like the 2 kids on me. So while I was planned to go to surgery, so in Nebraska, and I had to cancel that. I mean, I guess I could share my story.
I don't want you to share your story. I want you to ask me a question. Because if you're going to go into your story, and I mean with this with all the most respect, I'm going to cut the bullshit of the story, and I'm going to challenge it.
Yeah, no, it's
Because
not
the
really.
story is what you're holding on to.
No,
What's the
I understand what
question?
you're saying, but this story is actually not, because it's very unique and
We've been doing this a
not a
long
lot of
time, and I'm
people
going to
know about it.
stop you, and I'm going to interrupt you out of love. The more you keep telling your story, I don't care how fucking unique you think it is to you, you're just myelinating the pattern to yourself that's keeping that cortisol, that habitual pattern that I won't allow you to do. I can be nice, or I can actually transform you, and I'd rather transform you than be nice.
Well, yeah, you seem like a very humble guy, and that's why I wanted to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Personally.
So what do you
Okay.
want to happen? What's the question behind it? Not the story, the question.
It's hard. It's really hard to define the question without the story, though.
Nope. That's not true. When you're stuck in the fucking amygdala, you're going to say, I need to tell my story. What do you want? What do you want? Then reverse engineer the question.
So I'm going to be opening up my own place. I'm going to go solo because I'm, I've been everywhere, basically. The thing I kind of wanted your feedback on is, and I'm going to go, so I've had some, I'm just going to say, I've had severe restless leg syndrome and very severe leg pain. And nobody could figure it out. I was bounced back and forth. I've seen 25 providers, had $1 million
Going into your story. You're going into your story, and I'm going to stop you.
I'm just telling you that part, and then letting you know that I want, I ask myself, like, why was I placed into this position? And I'm someone who has a very strong voice and a very strong passion, and I'm very pro advocate for all patients. So this is a topic that's going to help millions out there. It's just the problem is, how do I get it out there? And I'm talking about really big, as in reaching out, because this is a huge medical gap, like huge. And I see.
So let me ask you this. So what you're saying to me from a business perspective, you have restless leg syndrome, and you're trying to heal it for yourself.
So nerve compression basically was the underlying cause.
I got it. And so you want to figure out, how do you take that to the world and help people with that? Is that correct?
Correct, because the trigger point injections are actually diagnostic blocks, and then that gets always confused. And if the pain goes away where it's injected, then the nerve is pretty much compressed.
I've seen 400,000 patients. I got it. I was a chiropractor. I dealt with back pain all day long. Like this.
Yeah,
this is my wheelhouse. I can do this all day long.
Too. They thought it was IT band, but really it's nerve compression. I had over 20 nerves decompressed, so I've had like 4 surgeries back to back. So my question is, like, I want to know how to get it out there to the millions of people who are also suffering, because when I called my PhD professor, she had told me how her sister committed suicide 2 years ago because of all of this. And I said, I can't blame you.
I'm going to stop you because you're into the story, and I'm going to give you the solution. I'm going to give you we don't realize we do this, and you're doing such a great job. I just want to sit and say, no, hang on. I'm going to interrupt you, okay? Please understand. Because you're doing such a great job. Now, I'm not trying to be rude, but you're doing such a great job, but we don't even realize we fall back into the story because of it's such a strong emotional pull. Can you guys see? Can you guys empathize with her where she's at right now? And so many of you, I sit there and you're sitting there like, you know what? We've all been down this journey where Trivedi just kicked our ass and said, no, cut your fucking bullshit. I'm not going to let you tell your story because I'm not going to let you malinate that shit. And I'm going to actually heal you and wake you up so that you don't do that. So here's your assignment. You ready? Get a pen and paper. I'm going to tell you how to start waking up to this journey for yourself.
Okay. And then I found out that there's only 5 to 10 peripheral nerve surgeons in the whole US.
Just listen to what I'm going to tell you to do.
Okay.
First, you got to figure out why this has happened and go figure out why this journey has started for you. What does it mean to your life? The nerve compression. Yeah. No, I don't need to see exactly where it's happening. Please understand. Okay, I'm going to stop you. I think we lost her there, but I'll just tell her what to do and then she can get the recording if she wants.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Figure out why it happened and then go figure out how to heal yourself from the inside out, not the outside in. Get grateful for this. The only way you're going to help someone is when you become grateful for it. You can't help anybody from something you haven't transitioned or transformed. If you want to build a business, that means you've got to take whatever you've gone through and be able to help people with that. I can work with entrepreneurs who are trying to live a fulfilled life because I've been down that journey. I know what it's like to be an entrepreneur who's built a business to go through that. But if you can't heal it, then you can't sell it. That's like going to an AA meeting and the person who's leading the AA meeting is a freaking alcoholic. Why would you listen to them? You wouldn't. So you've got to look at that for yourself, and whatever everyone's business is to say, if you want to take an ideapreneur to a propreneur, you first got to understand what it is you're going to do. You got to first understand and heal yourself inside of it. And once you do that, then you can go to the next journey. And here's the other thing people will say, I want to go big, I want to go big, I want to go big. No, you want to start where the fuck you are, because you're here now at the perfect place at the perfect time to start from where you are and then let that grow. You can't grow to the nth degree if you can't help one person. And you can't help 2 people until you can help 1 person. And you can't help 100 until you can help 10. And you can't help 1,000 until you can help 100. So people want to get to this next place, but that's a fucking delusion. That's your emotions talking to me. And if you notice, when people come to me with emotions and they start doing this with their emotions, I shut it down because it's not real. You think it's real. And I'm not saying that your experience of it isn't real. But that experience is not reality. That experience is an emotional state that you're in. How many people have gone through a period in your life where you've had an emotional experience and you realized a month, a week, 10 years, or a year, whatever down the line, that you know what? You were overly emotional and you acted in an emotional, irrational manner. Anyone ever experienced that before? Of course you have. That's called being human. But it's also living in your bullshit. It's not true. And so my job is not to let you live there. I'm not known to sit and say, oh, let's just be nice. I'm not known for that. I'm known to cut the bullshit out of your life so that you can actually move forward. And I hope that everyone here is listening to that, because I don't want to be, I'm a doctor. And I have this thing about me that I want to give people the truth so that they can heal their life. And I'm not going to just bullshit my way through this. I have a true heart to help people heal their life so they can live the most expression life. And I talk to entrepreneurs because entrepreneurs are they're the ones who want to grow and take their expression into the world. Versus people who are not, people who want to stay sick and suffering and in their story. I can't help those people because they want to sit and stay there. And so for everybody who's listening, if you want to grow, your life and you want to grow your game, you've got to live life at a whole different platform. And the first thing you got to do, doesn't matter where you are, what you have going on in your business and your life, is that you got to be able to transcend whatever shit you're at and then help people with that. Then you got to help the next level of that. People don't know this. I'll tell you guys this. I have 2 blown discs. Why? Because I worked with disc patients. I had to heal myself with my own discs so I can help my patients who had disc problems. It wasn't random. Things happen to you so that you can wake up for them and realize that they're for you. It wasn't an accident. I had to learn what it meant. I had to learn how to heal it. I had to go through the journey of getting fit, getting my core strong, doing all those things that I needed to do slowly, step by step, so that I can heal from it. Oh, and then I helped thousands of patients across the world with their disc problems. I had patients coming from China and India and Turkey and freaking all over. But it was because I mastered that art so that I can take the next step with it. So whatever you're doing is right, perfect now. Heal from that. Love that. Then allow the next journey to show up. We're in such a hurry sometimes to get to that promised land of success that we forget the opportunity that fulfillment has right now. Don't do that to yourselves. Don't lose yourself in that journey of success. That's why I wrote the book, Chasing Success, because so often we get caught in that journey of success without waking up to the journey of who we are today. Love yourself for what you are now, the pains and the pleasures. That's the beginning process of this entire formula that we're going to go through. I think I went on a tangent, and I hope it was valuable. I hope it served and proved to have some learning and some value inside of that for you. But I went on definitely a different tangent than I wanted to. And I'm going to ask that we please make sure that these questions inside here are about your business. Please don't ask me health questions. Please don't ask me. That's not fair to me. It's not fair to everyone else inside of that, because this is an entrepreneurial challenge that's inside there. I know that you have health questions. I know I get health. Then if that's the case, then you call the office, set up a time to do all that stuff. I'm happy to do that. But this is about business. This is about money. This is about growth. This is about rewiring this to be able to expand that. Is that okay? Is that fair for everyone? Right? So I just ask that we just hold that space for everybody to have that. And I want to thank everyone for their questions. And please, let's make sure that we give everyone that safe opportunity to ask whatever it is they want to, and to know that and honor that. But let's also appreciate the space that we're creating here right now. Okay. So I love all of you. I want to thank you all for being here. I know I've gone over time than I expected to today, and I hope that's been okay with you guys. And for those of you all who've been here, look, I'm going to say this to you as well, is that whatever you're doing in your business, whatever you're doing in your life, whatever you're doing, know that it's inspired for you if you make it inspired for you. If you wake up inspired for your life, then you're going to be inspired for your life. No one's coming to wake you up to inspire you. Courtney, I would love to sit and say someone's coming to your house and saying, you know what, get up, get inspired. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to choose that. You're going to have to take that journey. I've got the tools, the journey, the process for you to do it, but it's going to happen when you do the work. I used to have this mechanism inside of me because I can do a lot of different things in the health world and help people heal in so many different conditions, and that I felt this responsibility as a rescuer to rescue people from their shit. I'm not a rescuer. I'm your guide, which means that you're going to have to step up and do the work with it. I'm a guide to you. And together, we're going to be able to transform. Together, we're going to work together. It's not going to happen by me just rescuing people. It's not going to happen by you just looking up to go, save me. No, save yourself. Then you wake up. Problem is you're looking for someone on the outside to save you versus asking the questions on the inside to save you. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So with that being said, Amanda, we're going to close it out right here. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for spending the time with me today. I know I went a little bit over. I hope it's okay that I over-delivered today with you guys. I appreciate all of you so much, and I can't wait to talk tomorrow because we're going to go through the self-worth formula, and it is going to blow your freaking mind. Have a wonderful evening, guys. I'll see you in the Facebook group. Make sure you do your videos. I'm watching for them. See you guys there, guys. Have a great night.